Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome back to Bitcoin Update. Today is going to be Sunday 27th of November and I think that Bitcoin for November has digested the dumps that it wanted to dump. So probably we're going to be looking at Bitcoin making the major move by next month. So right now the only thing that comes closest to make sense is looking at the monthly time frame, because if you look at the monthly you have such a very big huge red candle. So I don't think we're gonna dump very soon just yet, because to start off the month, to kick off this month of December, we probably will be moving a little bit higher. Yeah, so first we're gonna be moving a little bit higher just to complete for like the, what do you call this? It's just a for the sake of making that wick, so the wick culture that happens in a new month. So first of all, climb up a little bit, turn out to be green, and then later on turn out to be red. Okay, pump a little bit, make that start to create the wick culture again, and then move down. Okay, so went down like this, pump a little bit up, and then move down. Okay, so even something like this is possible where you don't really have massive pumps and just drops to the downside straight down. So December to me doesn't look like it's good. The question really is, could you do something like the following? Okay, so where you move lower one, in December you come down to 13,000. In January you continue all the way down to 10,000, and then you make another flag right there and you break out of that flag. And if it's just a opinion, and by nearly, what do you call this, by mid-year next year you see the whole market dropping all the way down to 6,300, something that is quite possible. But we've already talked about the technical target out of this bear flag, and we're looking for that, 7,000 or 8,000. Now don't be surprised if Bitcoin decides to touch 6,500, because it is possible to touch 6,000 if we do come down to 7,000. It's not very far away from 8,000 all the way down to 6,000. Very, very possible if 8,000 is a particular scenario that's happening. But it's been a while we have been talking about the flag. We know about the flag. It's been years and ages we've talked about flag, but I think it's time to peep into some other, indicators as well. So number one, I do have the RSI opened up, and I want to dive into the weekly time frame for the RSI. There are some bullish formation, or there are some bullish signs right now, because do you see that when you were moving up like this, you have the higher highs and the higher highs, right? So this was one high, and then you had another higher high, like from 64,000 all the way to 69,000. Okay, but unfortunately on the RSI you did have this just a second, I'm gonna reset the RSI like that. Okay, so you did have lower lows right there, so you had a divergence of the RSI. But if you look at that divergence, it took a lot of time for the divergence to play out, ever since April 2021 to November 2021. So couple of months for the bearish divergence to play out, and then went down. And that's the reason why even when I tell you to join the Discord, link is in description of the video for the signals, there are only 4 days left, the final 4 days to actually close the signals. And I do recommend you to join the signal for the next 5 months. And there are some few reasons for that. But anyway, this for the first time I'm telling you to be here at least for 5 months. Now, the same way we had this bearish divergence, we are now getting the bullish divergence. And that's a very good signal, because if you look at this right here, you have the low there and you have this lower low right here. And now for the RSI that you're looking forward to is this low and a higher low right there. Now one can say, so Atom Coins, are we about to pump from here? Could be, could pump a little bit, then move down, go down like this and come down to $12,000. But the thing is that the question comes in, now that we have a bullish divergence on the weekly, which is a very clear one, so do we start to pump from here? It's still possible to pump from here, but there's one thing that I do want to show you on, if I Google here, and that is RSI, a lagging indicator. Okay, so is RSI a lagging indicator? So if you look at it on the first page, they say that the RSI, as the name suggests, RSI is a lagging indicator that tells investors when a security is oversold and overbought in the market. So the word to focus on is lagging indicator. And if you look at the closest meaning of lagging, it means that something that is left behind. Okay, so fall behind, fall back, it's trailing, so, or it's dwindling or whatever. So the RSI is, for the nature of it being the lagging indicator that it is, it's going to lag a little bit when you look at it that way. Now what I mean by this is that you still are looking to come down to $8,000. And why do you still look to go down even though you do have a bullish divergence? It's because this is a lagging indicator and this is a leading indicator. The candles are leading indicators. So if you ignore that bullish divergence and you still focus on that bear flag, it's still in play. Okay, regardless of the RSI having a bullish divergence, these candles, they have the nature of being leading indicators, and leading means that this is the leader and then the RSI comes at the second spot. And that's why we do TA, because technicals is about what's the closest thing to reality. The closest thing to reality remains the flag. Okay, and all of this, then again, I always like to tell you that if you want to learn and keep learning, come here, take the course, and message me on Twitter to get it to pay with crypto. So the link is in the description of that video if anyone is interested, by the way, and you can learn more about these RSIs and whatnot, and the differences between the candles and the RSIs and how I treat them. Now the second thing that I want to bring in is probably, I'm going to go into the indicators and let's talk about the MACDs as well. So let's look at what MACDs are doing, because it's been a while, people haven't been talking about the MACDs. And what I can do with this one is basically, I do want to like hide, or let's look at the MACD. So the MACDs are oversold at the moment. It's at the lowest that I've ever seen on a weekly time frame. Just look how low this really is, which tells you that the bottom is very, very close. We're really close to the bottom. Bitcoin is already like 78-79% down, but I do see a little bit of more fall and more falling to the downside. Now if you notice at the RSI, we also have a falling wedge, by the way. So this is the falling wedge that I'm looking forward to, and it is actually popping out of the falling wedge as well. So look at that. So Bitcoin, we could even say that Bitcoin is on a very good place to buy on a long term. So this is a buying opportunity for Bitcoin. Even if it does come to $8,000 or whatnot, which I'm still expected to happen, like capitulations happen and something like that happen. So here's how I can conclude the RSI. Okay, you have a very clear falling wedge. Okay, very clear falling wedge, and I've been talking about this falling wedge for quite a while. Not quite a while, but previously I did once mention some few months ago about this falling wedge when it was actually making one here. So what you're looking for Bitcoin right now is basically, if it drops down all the way here, then this is going to drop down on the lowest support of the falling wedge down to 18. Broke out of the falling wedge, come back here, Bitcoin drops down there, make a double bottom like this. You broke out of the falling wedge, you're back testing the falling wedge now, and then you bottom somewhere at the 8,000 and the 6,000 region. So 8,000 to 6,000 is where we could potentially bottom out. And then from here, you're breaking out of the falling wedge. What's the technical target? Back to the all-time high, right? To the highest part of the wedge. So it's not going to go straight up, but it's actually going to go like this, right? And maybe until March 2024, we're looking at another big bull run like this, boom, all the way up to even $200,000. So that's my conclusion about Bitcoin at the moment. So let's see what happens. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to join the signals as well, do join the signals. And I do recommend you to join, by the way. 4 days left and it's super cheap to join. And I'm going to see you the next one. Allah Hafiz.